ogirabye batwala ki it's a fuel tanker. Good morning Mugalasi Joshua Mix Farm Travel Live Vlog to see me Eddie Muyombia Mark Sereko Starch Africa Karota Omeja Moses Frank Promo 2 Hashim Antonio Random Things Kenya Abe Oza Mosantu Sebugwa Omedi Nathan Jerisha Motors. Good morning. Lero tukoze main naye mama kajjamu kyekata tukoze watambula nene watatambula tewatambula. Seth Kagaba, good morning. Today's question Friday, guys. Yeah, today's question Friday. Yesterday we bought a chigege. Good morning, Chris Fitness Church. Yes, TX can do tours and travel. It depends on what your target market is. Of course, that's if you're not going to be taking a lot of people. The TX can definitely do, because katonza kudira tourist n'omutuuze mbuli obutto bwa mubuutu. That's why his drone is badde zikutte n'ekigege zaakwata, because ekigege will take a minimum of 8 people. Bwebanga erimu emito giri egya luxury ejjatwala abantu 8 okitegeera ng'ate bonna bali comfortable, but the TX can definitely do. Ebiseera ebisinga the reason why ekigege zaali zawambamu, it's because mafuta zinywa matono mukko okitegeera. Yeah, so Amina Nathan your mind is singing bugu bugu bugu. Amina. UWeb Solutions, good morning. Timothy, good morning. Balvids, good morning. Could you look for a commercial kachigege for like a week, just to make sure we get the best available option? Safe, you see, the thing that happens is the chigege is not dependent on the length of period that you look for it. That's one thing I realized. The chigege we bought yesterday is the chigege we saw on day 1, the one that was nice. I told you about it. Gitwaguze. The reason why I had not decided for us to buy that chigege was because it had those police receipts. So the best available chigege will be dependent on the budget, not dependent on the period of time you take for searching. And I actually find that I would have said let me increase the pre-purchase inspection fee, but still we're going to be going around in circles. The thing that happens with chigeges is that one thing you guys need to remember, chigeges are no longer coming into the country. Right now the importation is for drones, okay? And drones kind of still have their own challenges right now. Mechanics have not yet really understood the drones. And when it breaks down, it takes a lot of money. You get? So the thing that happens is, if you want to get a chigege right now, your budget should be 30 million. That's a fact. It should be 30 million. The other chigege we bought the last time, the UBC, twabanzibe. That's the fact. Twagula bulungi nnyo. I'm telling you. Twagula bulungi. We bought that chigege. It had like 300,000 police receipts, I think. I don't really remember. But all the chigeges we saw in the market had police receipts 1.52 million, 1.52 million. Now, before we bought the chigege we bought yesterday, the last chigege we saw that was really nice was 30 million. It still had police receipts of like 1.5. And the one thing that I've seen with these guys that are selling chigeges, they don't deduct the police receipts. It doesn't matter how much you're buying. For them, they are saying, me, I'm selling my car the way it is. You pay me that money and take it, pay your police receipts, or leave the car. You get. It's not fair, yes, but the world has never been fair. So I reached a point, and in my mind it was like, okay, I think this person should just go back home and get more money. Which together. Because regardless of what chigege we were looking at, there's only one chigege they brought to us. It was a USZ. It wasn't in good condition. It was 25 million shillings. It had the 2 police receipts. The engine wasn't the best, and the body was not good. It did not have tires. Which together. And that's literally the only chigege we got that had like police receipts of 300,000. I tell you how it has a salary. So that one was 25. Then we saw another chigege which was 25. It was a UAS, you can imagine. Still the owner wanted 25 million. It had police receipts of 1.4. He said he wasn't deducting the police receipts. Now, I think those chigeges stopped coming at around UBG. UBGAL, that's when they stopped coming in. And then the drone started coming in. So the one thing that we need to understand is either you collect enough money to buy a good drone, which will be around 45-50 million, or the second option would be to collect around 30 million to get a good chigege with like few police receipts, or the other option would be you buy a chigege that is in the 20s with the police receipts and pay them. Now, how did I come up with the let's just buy this one with the police receipts? Of course, now with every chigege you buy, you will have to get PSV. I realize that most guys that drive chigeges in town, they have not paid their PSV in a long time. Most chigeges in town, at the chigeges, I'm talking about the chigeges because the chigeges now don't do very long routes. If it goes far, it will go to Ginger, you get if it goes far. And now people are taking them out of the long routes. The chigeges are coming now, they are coming back to the shorter routes of Luero, Mitiana, you get now they are doing those shorter routes. The people that are taking cars for longer routes are getting drones, you get. So normally they don't have the KCCS sticker, because if your taxi is going to come to Kampala city, the central business district, even just to go to the taxi park, you have to pay the sticker, the KCCS sticker. So most of them don't have those stickers. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you that if you look at the police receipts that those chigeges have, most of them, you will realize that most of the receipts are for not having PSV sticker, for not having third party. Webikajo kyagenda okunkola kanziremu erira yino kakkana naawe njagala kuyisa ono. So you realize that kati the chigege we have, the one we bought, majority of the tickets are actually driving permit. So many of the taxi drivers don't actually have driving permits. And I've realized that one of the things that is happening, even the reason why, forgive me, a WhatsApp call again, someone is calling me on WhatsApp and I don't know why. Sorry guys about the sound, there is no way for me to mute that WhatsApp call. And clearly the person calling me on WhatsApp knows I'm on a live broadcast. I don't know why people keep calling me. And I keep telling people I use the same phone for the live broadcast. So lwaki nasazeewo tugule emmoroka eyeriko ebipapula? It's because the one they were selling 30 million, because when the brokers took us to the car, they were telling us 32 million. Then when the owner of the car came, I told him, you know what, twagala kwenyola tugambe sente zotunda emmoroka ezisembayo. If we can afford, we pay. If we can't afford, we go. Because that one looked pretty good. Babade bakagifuwa, engine babade bakagisiba. Now the one we bought, the engine has not been overhauled. That's the other advantage it had. Then it wasn't prepared. You know, there is trouble in you buying a car that has been prepared for sale. There is trouble there. Now, what trouble exists in you buying a car that has been prepared? That's also the other downside with the car, the one that was 30 million. Engine bagisibye munda balongosezaamu and all. Neno nayo terabika bubiira nga bwogiraba, but it has not been prepared. Uli abadde n'emmoroka ye ku kkubo and they decided to like sell. So the the thing that happened with the car that was 30 million, the Chigege that was 30 million, it was a UBD, I think. UBD, yes. The thing with the car that is being sold at 30 million, if you don't have the 30 million in cash, then you'll buy it 31 or 32. And our budget was 28. So our budget was 28, which means if we were going to buy the one of 30 million, we would have to pay some money and then pay the balance later. And normally when someone sells you a car on credit, they will increase by 1 or 2 million. You get. But the thing that happens with the car that has the police receipts is you can pay one every week until you finish them. So if the car is going to give us, let's say 400,000 or 450,000, we can decide to be paying a receipt of 200 or 300 every week until we are done with those police receipts. And in a couple of weeks we'll be done with the receipts and the car will still be on the road. You know, the car we bought had all 4 tires were good. The one of 30 million had 2 tires that were not good. So we would actually buy that car and then go ahead and buy tires immediately. Most Chigeges don't actually have jacks. You'll find that the jack was either stolen by the driver himself and sold, or from one of the garages where they fix those Chigeges from. The Chigege steel we bought, the clutch is not so good. So we're going to examine it today and see. But the rest of the things check out. And actually, the thing that we are saying the clutch is not good, ebera yaffe abatavuga Chigege. Okitegera naye abasajja abavuga Chigege bo bagivuga. As a matter of fact, for us as we were test driving, for us we were saying my clutch eno nga sinungi. Then the guy that was driving the car drove it and it was perfect. Fenga tulinya double clutch, yetalinya double clutch. Fesi kondoka, yeta sikondoka. So the Chigege drivers, I find that they know how to drive their Chigeges in certain conditions that a normal car user would ideally not be driving that Chigege. So everything else checked out, and I find that Chigege singers in a receipts are either permit, because abantu banji bavuge moroke so many guys drive the Chigeges, either permit, talking on phone, parking, loading in places where they're not supposed to be loading passengers, obstructing of the road. Majority of the receipts we are parking in areas where they're not supposed to park, which we all know they do. Obstructing the road, which is literally the same thing. Driving without a permit, which is going to be very common with Chigeges. And I find that the reason why Chigeges have a lot of police receipts is because police doesn't actually try harder in making sure that these guys adhere to the law, probably because the police has a lot to gain and the government has a lot to gain every time these taxi guys break the law, because the police gets more income for the government, right? So I found that one of the reasons why there is no enforcement of the law is probably because of the fact that the government gets income from these things. Bino ebintu byolaba ebipapula ebyo government efunamu sente mpitirivu, because now you can imagine that Chigege is going to finally pay the 3 million shillings that the government is demanding. Okitegeera tulina Chigege endala gye twalaba engerike million 5 million shillings. Okitegeera, and you know those the Chigege drivers, they have a way of surviving on the road without paying those receipts. And I even asked the driver of that Chigege, because when we went to pay for that car, the guy yabademu n'abasabaze n'abatwala n'abayiwa, and then he came and I was asking him, how do you guys survive? And he told me kati fe ku luguudo lwaffe abatrafiki bonna mbamanyi, traffic bwakuyimiriza gw'otambula n'ettaano zo. Okitegeera, apparently the Chigege drivers even like they have a budget. Buli trip gyentwala afande gundi ayinako sente ze nga muwaye 5 oba 2. Okitegeera, they don't actually pay a lot of money those funny bribes. And that's how those cars survive on the road with a lot of police receipts. And majority of the taxis, I realized, majority, some of the guys that are selling their chigeges, they are selling the chigeges because the chigeges have a lot of police receipts. You get it? The chigeges have a police receipts, a lot of them, and atu kanagamba nezino police receipts nze nazisasula. Nagamba kanjitunde uli abisasula nze ngule endala. Okitegeera. So that's probably what happens. And katife. One thing I realized with the other chigege we have, every time the mechanic goes to the garage, before he leaves, the mechanic will check the police receipts, the new police receipts at least. The other one doesn't have police receipts from the last time I knew. I'm not really in touch with the driver or the owner. But the last time I saw, the car did not have police receipts. But for us, the way we plan to do it is every time the car goes for service, because it's the mechanic services the car. Every time the car goes for service, before it leaves, the mechanic will check to see if the car has police receipts, and if it has police receipts, it doesn't go anywhere until those police receipts are paid by the driver, because the police receipts exist on that car because of the driver. Let me see. We need a detailed broadcast on one of these weekends about the lessons we've learned from the two chigege purchases you've done before. Okay, what exactly would I cover? I think I literally cover everything when I come to talk about the purchase we made. But let me park somewhere and read all these comments, and then probably see if I need to talk about something extra. I find that for you guys that are looking for like daily income and you have Yoka 25 million on the account, or Yoka 30 million on the account, I can tell you one thing. The chigege is one thing that can give you daily income, especially if you bobato in a business ideas in Dada. Even if you had like a 60 million and you sell me buy 2 chigeges, but I don't advise you buy 2 chigeges at once. I don't advise you buy 2 chigeges at once. You might get frustrated, and I don't wish that for anyone. So let me just get a little more light here. Okay. Good morning, Mayanja Ronald, Mujunase Michael. Tuk 3-wheeler bike versus hijet. Gula tukutuku. Hijet bajaji kusera. Tukutuku, I think a new one is like, there are people that told me it's 9. There are people that say it's 10. There are people that say it's 13. I'm not sure, but I would advise you to buy a tukutuku. Seru Victor, good morning. Chris Fitness agamba 30 million for an average chigege or slightly above average chigege. 30 million should be your minimum budget. If you get it at 28, well and good. If you get it at 29, you're safe. But 30 million should be the minimum that you have to get a good one. Right? From now on, from now on, if you want to buy chigege and you have less than 30 million, I may not be involved. I can tell you the good mafuta live broadcast. You guys are going to see the fuel I'm going to take even today. And that was me trying to make sure we get. There is a chigege they called for us Tevuga taxi. You have slightly a little lower, a 25 UAS. It was really good. Actually, of all the chigeges that we saw, it had the best engine, it had the best interior, but it was UAS. Kati toina bogama muntu, someone is telling you chigege UAS, while you UBB 27 chigege UAS erike popular kumi million mne mitwala ana eriko million satu, but UBB would definitely, if you're entering the business and you hope that Boigana and the UBB would definitely make better sense. And that chigege, we drove a very twagenze. You know Chiwenda? You can imagine we drove from town to Chiwenda, deep down in Chiwenda. And the reason why I said let's go there, it was we had a chance of actually getting a good. Ragnar, wake up. Woken up. The word is woken up, not waked up, okay? And then you say he has already woken up. Yeah, he has already woken up. So we drove up to Chiwenda nga tugenda kulaba Morokeyo, and when I reached that, it was really good. Nainge namba ya ye korachi Ghana. And then the one thing that I've realized, Chigegezo naziri ezisinga actually if you went to kati mwabali e Kampala start noticing on the road chigege ziri ku kubo ziri namba ki ojagenda okwesanga ezisinga ziri UFV UX UAY ezisinga chigege. The UBBs UBDs are there but they are not as many as the UAYs. Why? It's because the guys that actually have these chigeges abasinga tebagala kuzejjako. Okay, kubanga bwajejja kutara bajaza, especially if person has a UAY that is in really good condition. He says kati bwenjituna milioni 25 njejjeko nze ngule ki ngatara bachazaawo. And then the next best option would be for that person to buy like a drone, right? And the drone is really expensive. At a drone is very complicated. Into drone yeyo jiraba, you can get it from the bond. No jivuga no geno kola service ineta vao. The people that the mechanics right now have not yet figured out the technology that well. Yes, there are guys that will survive with those cars, but you realize, mulabecha a banda around those bonds. Muja kwesanga tuwalo drone nganya zipakinza nga a number mpia na yenga zidi yao ezimu zidi nabweru nga kukubo on the side. They bought them neziba chankara nako nebaze sonyuwa. Then the best way for you to manage a drone would probably be when you buy it and that engine fails, you remove that engine, then insert like a 5L, and then insert like a 5L yebera mu kitimba, and then gwechonoche sonyo no manya nti kati motoka drone ngiziza ku ordinary kanjivugirawo okitegeera. WhatsApp call at 7 AM client haina emergency asokandeke. Vinny Katz, good morning. Sereko Starch, I got many reasons why I have or need to buy a car with your guidance. First off, I'm going to get a real advice on which car is good economical for you as a person. Yeah, meaning the real price of a Chigege would be around 30 plus 2 million. Yes, I would actually advise that whichever Chigege you want to buy, teleka osende zigeno sasure ipapula, then bera one sente million inge, bera one million nga na ekitundu yachi. PSV, most chigeges don't have PSV. When someone decides to sell their chigege, they are going to sell it towards the period when the PSV is expiring. The other chigege we bought, yoto ajiguranga PSV kwali na iya guako ndoza mwiki singa bidi. KCC sticker. No one is going to sell their chigege with the KCC sticker that is valid. So the KCC sticker gena guako. As a matter of fact, the other chigege we bought, the KCC sticker got expired and the driver continued driving it for like a month before we renewed. The same thing happened with the PSV. Then chigegeyo bojigula banyanti ogenda jivuga emyezi nge 5 mukago gule emipira. Okitegeera, but that's okay because chigege na kubeze ekoledde. Okitegeera. Ronald Muchwa, good morning. Good morning Blake FX, Louis, yes. If it was TikTok I would have shared you chigege here yes. Our own, the ones we drive in UG. Na ye eri wano ya parking Mr. Arthur abawara bubonona. Kati kuboya gwako naye namuna emipira ku ebiri just eddugala lwaki starch togigula nogi importing no omwana nakuwa emitwalo gyo mwenda buli lunaku. Good morning Jose, bali kudembe Arthur, who is responsible to pay police receipts, driver or owner? Now Frank Promo, there is a technicality. There is a technicality here. The driver accumulates the police receipts. Ideally the driver will pay the police, should pay the police receipts. But what happens is driver boy baba mukube papula tajja kugamba kati ajivuge wiki over weeks because normally service will be 2 weeks. So if he drives it for 2 weeks and then comes to service for example and we say kati asule papula byaffe, what if he just walks away ngaba mukube papula nga munana ebimwe bya permit, wrong parking, wrong loading, bichi nagenda kati nawe ngogamba let me give it to another driver, then your driver sends an akola sasule ebyoli. Because when you realize, if you look, I took a video, I cannot share because I want to keep the number plate a little bit anonymous, but I sent it to the owner, a video popular. When you look at the police receipts, every driver had like 3. One driver gets 3 receipts and then that goes away. Which is why I am sticking to the approach of let's get one manager, get us a driver, he manages his drivers. And then if his drivers don't pay the receipts, yeah, it's on him. So he manages his drivers. So these guys have actually They have not been bad, at least for the what they only have. So the driver would ideally pay the receipts, but they will not. So every time you tell the driver pay the receipts, he will walk away. Akulekere moroka yage nano nyendala. And that's exactly what happened. Tuina chigege je twatuse nga naina ipapula million satu. Na yaba actually one reason why we decided to buy this chigege, the last chigege we saw twajigobye ngobe. Netugoba ku bypass netudde ngati driver ngisimu evudde ku ngana nyine moroka atukamu munonye until the owner of the car told us mugende kwano na wano. We reached there netagira ba tuba tukida tuti the mechanic saw it natugamba yiri, and then we parked somewhere going to saw. But then the guy was selling it 27 ngerike papula million isatu ngate tabisala. Then yonga ate bode mbi engine sinungi nnyo okitegeera nga n'emipiira si mirungi ng'egyeno. And that's when we decided, you know what, let's just go and buy the other one to save time. Because one thing you guys need to realize, it's not about how much time you incur into searching for the car, because you can realize your 450 is supposed to last you one day. But I went ahead and said, you know what, let's go tomorrow. And I thought that we would be done by midday so that I go do other things. And what happened with this Chigege is that the owner of the Chigege is not in the country. So it was his mom that was there, and I think an uncle. Ngateba vawala. So me, I was imagining kakati mukadde. Ogenda mukomyawo a third day. Ochitegera. Okomyewo mukadde for a third day. Ne uncle. Ochitegera. Kati obale sawe byawe bayina okukola. So and it's not, like I'll tell you, it's not really about the time you invest in looking for this gig. It's about the budget. It's mostly about the budget. Cheche nabagamba nti if you don't have the right budget, nebo nonyeze moroka wiki ogenda kubomala budde. So I find that with this car I will tell you nyizo basi sikozeko na kasente nze nga Arthur. I was trying to get something good. Nyizo basi kozeko na kasente kusenza inspection because grosanyo da mafutanga mulaba nerero ngenda ganywanga mulaba okitegeera. So but which is why I'm saying bobo genda kugula Chigege nga Arthur yagala kebere bera ne million ameka ne million asatu wetujifuna ngeri lower, which is possible, well and good, nti obera safe. Kati ngira bola bantu our budget was 28 but we got one at 27 na yera tezafise rwansonga. Now erezo sente za twavudde nga batuwadde emitwalo 96 kuliko PSV ne KCC sticker, because ebinayagadde tubigule so that the driver at least awoze kubipapula naye aleme kujja. The guys of KCCA are at every park, every entrance of the park, that wabato ina KCC sticker ngateba mulyango enguzi. So I figured let's pay the PSV to susune KCC sticker omoro kesigalenge ekola okitegeera yebenge ekola. Kati wene ekola omusajja tugenda jimu wencha atusasule sente zencha asasule ze Sunday. Kati ekipapula ekimu tugenda tusasa bwatuwa sente zencha neza Sunday zisasule ekipapula ekirala. Kati after that every week tugenda banga tusasula ekipapula kimu and with time tujaba tubimazeeyo. Now the technicality with these things nti gwe bonogamba sigenda gula moroka eriko bipapula ojja kwesanga ngoguze moroka etaliko bipapula nenga yingi nifu okitegeera. Kati wesanga nti bipapula be million 3 ate biwali sasude mu mpola ate yo yingi nitejja kulinda kuba engine ya Chigege bagisibire million 3 kunya okugisiba okitegeera. Kati wesanga ate okusiba engine egenda kumalayo week mu garage okitegeera. So nga ate bine bipapula okusasula nga naye ofisaka akasente nga nabiwe, because if a car is going to give us let's say 400,000 and every week we pay 200,000, it means the owner of the car can keep a 200k and also pay 200k okitegeera. So kati ene moroka myaka katugambe myaka ebiri egenda bejjeyo sente zaayo nga nayo weeri okitegeera. Kati tubala ntwagiguze million 3 mwemu, because wabala PSV KCC ST katwagiguze million 3 mwemu. Kati but in 1 year ejja kuba yesasudde nga ate nayo ye maintenance. That's the thing. So right now omuntu yena yagala yingira transport, I would not advise you to go the Uber way. The Uber way will not work for you definitely. Because emoroka ya Uber genda jigule million nga 15 ate abana ba Uber basasula emitwalo 15. Right now I will tell you omwana wa Uber jana akugamba tagenda ku emitwalo 25 akulimba ajazi kuwa malale kina kubana abasasula 15 ntibakyasasula. So Chigege would be, I find that it would be the way. Anyone that abagala okola your passive income newe bantonotono. Chiza Tadeo, yes. Hi Arthur, how possible is it to change color of the car? Would you recommend it? If I want to change color, do you have a recommendation for someone? Now, changing color, you change the color, then you pay I think you pay about 120, about 80, and then you take the car for inspection, and then they change the color in the logo. As in, for spraying, guys, I don't recommend any guy as spraying. Why? But never disappointing. Someone will tell you, guy, you're seeing you take your car and you get disappointed. I find that the paint of the car it starts with the panel beating. And the panel beaters, tewali muntu gwenyinza kugamba nti yagenda nasoma panel beating nafuuka kafulu. Because abantu baffe ab'Ekampala bamanyi, they land on the job. And anyone that lands on the job, they don't have katinze. Bwengenda n'ensoma marketing, now I know the right way to do the best practice. Omulimu gw'okufuuyira emmotoka tegulina best practice. Someone will do okusinzira ku muudu ye, okusinzira ku baana baakoze nabo, because even they are not stable. Okusinzira wa waguze feeder, because even the feeder can be bad, even the fiber can be bad. So it doesn't really have a standard, it doesn't have best practice. So kitegeeza nti what happens is omulimu ogutalina best practice, ogutalina standards, the best, if you want to get a car enyuma nnyo oba nebeera nga tejja kumenyeka feeder, because I will tell you, emmotoka yonna gye bagolola bagenda gisaako feeder. Emmotoka yonna kasita bagisaako feeder egenda kwatika in about 6 months. Feeder agenda ba yatise, which is why nze emmotoka eyange ojja gisanga nti bwekubaako ka blemish kasigalako sikajjaako, because kati ntwala emmotoka bagiteekeko feeder ate atandika okwatika, tandika okudda mu repairing a feeder. So I don't recommend anyone, guys. I would actually recommend, guys, instead of changing a color, buy a car of a color you're comfortable with. Kuba emmotoka ogenda gigula nga, for example, let me show you this Outback in front of me. Olaba Outback eyo ojja gigula ku UBM nga ya maroon, gwe ngobadde oyagala silver naye nga silver abuze, ogambe kanjitwale bagikyuse paint. First of all, before they change that paint, bagenda kujjamu amataala ago gonna babeeko bagatereka agamu gatike, bajjeko akakanti the silver lining, otegera bajjeko obugambo obumu bubule, okitegeera kugamba emmotoka ogitwala ogifu ogenda ogijjayo ng'ebintu ebimu olina kugula bipya, bagiteekeko feeder, because weba nagira bajja kwagala bakoonekone embuto perfect. They don't perfect, they just spoil. Bwe bakonyekonye bateekewo feeder, bamala tuteekawo feeder, emmotoka yo gye wagula nga olumu ekyali ku bbaati olwo ekyali tekyali ya bbaati. Guys, buy cars with colors you are comfortable with. Nze ne bwe ndigula emmotoka ya purple nja givugirayo bwa purple bwayo, okitegeera. Saagala abantu ba disappointinga. Even when you ne bwali ba athanga yakugambye mbu simanya eyo gye nkusindise be basinga ofuwa. Paint is one thing that I cannot guarantee that it will come out perfectly. Those the guys that do spray jobs, it will depend on their mood, it will depend on where they bought the feeler, it will depend on where they bought the fiber. Je bali abantu nga agolola emmotoka n'enyuma naye gena nyuma emyezi 6 eddemu emenyeke, kati weesange nti obeera in the cycle of respraying your car. But one time try when inspecting Chigege, try look for the drone at the same time to labe what will be the result. Ati kati drone yenungi zabaddeyo drone, I'm telling you, mubeyi yemu. Ne kati drone ye million asatu egenda bambi, nze nkubuulira mazima. Because let me tell you why the drone ye million asatu egenda kubambi. Omusajja agenda n'agula drone ye million katugambe 7. Kuba drone ezisinga ziri mu namba mpya, UBD, UBE, yagula drone ye million 7. E drone ye million 7 ngeri ku UBD tenajjayo sente zaayo. Drone ye million 7 nebeze ekyokola erizo bate najjayo even 50%. Kati baba yagigula million 7, katugambe yagigula 6 n'agiteeka mu sente z'emito, mipiira biki n'agizza ku kkubo. Bw'ogattako the running expenses, drone yeba tenakola 50%. Kati ate gwe agiguza 3 ebe ina tagali. Okitegeera. Then the thing that happens is ebiseera ebisinga omuntu alina budget million 3 bambi. Sente aba ayagala ajje akasente ke mangu. Ate tabana sente nyingi. Kati the risk is you buying a drone that has a problem that is going to cost you about 7 million. Kati ate million 7 zigattamu. Ate nga drone ezo muzirabe engeri gye ziri za amasanyalaze mangi. Nti bwefunamu tagali tegenda kutambula oyina sooka gikanika. I'll tell you abaana bavuga Kigege nga ndwadde n'agivuga n'epambana. kasiteba nga techamuse n'agivuga okitegeera nesigala ng'ekola sente zaayo olumu neerwala bweba erwadde neemala ennaku 2 nga tekoze okitegeera nga naye nga muli ku sure dintu egenda genda ekole naye drone you cannot be sure because of the technicalities. Of course kati ngenda researching because I find that muyinza okwesanga abaagala okugula taxi ezo muyina genda that direction lindako amafuta gasse ebbeeyi oba ndaba oba bano tebalina mafuta ndaba petro wa 5 bade tumugula mmeka diesel aliko 1,500 nawe kati balina mafuta. So guys, I find that Chigege right now would be good passive income, especially for a person neboba toli Kampala esobola okusigala ng'ekuwa sente zo supervision gwe kasofu n'omuntu akusupervising eno oba muganda oba ani ng'ajja kubanga emmoloka ng'agirabako. I find that Chigege is one of those businesses that you can invest your money in nekakomawo n'emmoloka nga nayo weeri bwemala okukolera n'olaba nga this is a viable business, then you can probably double up and buy another Chigege or even buy 2 others. Kamalote kama amafuta wanozizewa amafuta getwanyedde eggulo mulyoke mutegeere embeera mulyoke mumanye ekyabaddewo eggulo. Okay, good morning Johnson Lubinga. Louis, talk about Volkswagen cars, don't buy them. Arthur, what's the price of PSV third party and cases for Chigege? PSV tugenda gula 7 mu jabadde 7 mu 8 gatano bitana asatu bano badde bakyawandika noza ku kinankani kino 5 bitana asatu. Cases ST katwaguze ya 18 si ya 14 18 ibi bitwaguzeeko for now kitegeera. Yeah, Mr. Arthur, actually my colleague here has told me that the Chigege had blown the engine, but they have no option of repair. They will sell it to scrap because they can't do service. It's out of stock repair. Oh, so selling it to scrap, it means I buy it and then bring it to UG, then buy an engine, then I see how much tax. Why don't you start buy an engine from there? Ugula engine nga 5L, okay? Ugula engine nga 5L. Ate no boboli Dubai Joshua jali muyinza nogula engine ne mugisibiramu eyo. Joshua jali eyo engine ne mugisibiramu eyo ne bwejjanga teyakae naye ng'omanyi nti engine njiguze wano naye ate Joshua asobola ojakisa. Ogula engine lwakuba oyina ogula ne gearbox I think. Ogula engine 5A n'ogwirako gearbox yako Joshua n'abikusibiramu ne computer labika computer begira. But Joshua abikusibiremu eyo obenga bwoba oguze emmoloka eyo neyingini nga neyingini ogiguze layisi tino oba osasula musolo gwa mmoloka yokka okitegeera. Kati kamalo teekamu wana amafuta byebale bwe bikikoona ng'ojjamu bikikoona. Okay, how much are the Ractis tires size 15? Nze nagula size 16 najugula emitwalo 26. I did not buy Linglong though. Yesterday you bought fuel of about 100k. How many kilometers did you move on the odometer? It gives me about 12 to 13. Nze nvuga SC nanti nvuga SC kati ebiseera ebimu embeera nempita mu jamu nga mungi wempita mu jamu nga mungi empa 10 because era mba mu jamu ng'era ndi mu SC. Naye kati abantu abatavuga SC the Ractis can give you up to 15 kilometers. It should be able to give you up to 15 kilometers if it has a good air cleaner, good plugs, good tire pressure, good driving habits. Good morning, Arthur. Why is it that when I put AC sometimes the car shakes a lot? So okay, mount because the AC basically loads the car. The AC loads the car engine nejida. Ne kebera ku mounts, kebera plugs. Kora kumi. Era jigenze mu 10 by the way. Jigenze mu 10. Ne ejo 10 gino eja leero n'ejeggulo jonna teje naye ejeggulo eja leero jigenze mu kono gende wange n'okudda mpa ku receipt. Agule engine akomawo eyaka. Okiwulidde nsereko starch Joshua agenda kutera mu engine ne gearbox yawe wamwe we Dubai emotoka egende okujje Kampala yaka wa mafuta nemwe bagayi, you'll be surprised, the people know me. It's one of the reasons why ichenda biramu zange zibago sagala kubeera nga nyumya nnyo abantu balaba videos affe nnyo. You'll be surprised there are people that are watching right now on the broadcast nga sibamanyi na bamanya. Abamu omuntu agenda nakubira simu daga atanjagala nkole pre-purchase inspection, I follow you, okitegeera nga ddala akufollowinga nga videos zonna zirabye naye nga erinnya tolirabangako ku live broadcast. Some people don't comment. There's a time I was in class and one of my classmates, she's one of those she's one of those guys, she's one of those very good marketing executives in town, marketing, she's actually a marketing manager level. And she was telling me, the Alaba broadcast, we were talking about relationships, and I think the matter of relationships is very close to the hearts of women. So she says she even commented, and then she realized her comment might be used against her when she applies for another job somewhere. So she deleted her comment. Yeah, so people watch this broadcast because you can imagine like 57 people are watching. Ogenda kwesanga nga comment eziriwo wano ziriwo nga za abantu nga 12. So the other like 40 something people are not really commenting. Right? So but anyway guys, Chigege, for the guys that are looking for passive income, neboboli Kampala, I would definitely recommend it. I would recommend it. Nadalango in a sense, some people, you guys have money nga zituddawo ngati zina kyezikola ng'ogezeza ko business endala zize zikusala. But I don't recommend. I find that the biggest mistake that people make with Chigeges is because he has 100 million nagamba kangule Chigege 3 oba kangule drone 2. Ebyo bisaza. I was talking to one broker and he was telling me his friend who is a pastor had money, so he bought like 4 drones at once. No, zali drone is 3 yazigula yazisamu million oba 10 mu something 10 oba mu 8 drone is 3 nazissa wali. I think oba yazeretera no zeretera. And when you buy a lot of cars at once, that's like expanding the business at once. You've expanded more than you can manage because you don't have the experience. Nti drone izo naza musala n'atandika kutunda emu kwemu yagabana ngabe okitegera emu yagaba ngabe nga bimutamye. But driver onakola chemical no inakola chemical no inakola chemical, and sometimes abantu bwe batabagula Chigege nyingi at once oba bagula taxis nyingi at once emotoka tezimutama nti zonga zombi bamukola chemical nyonyo omutwe negu. Have you ever been overwhelmed? They get overwhelmed with the complaints of the drivers not paying in time and all that. And then I find that when you over expand whatever business it is, when you over expand you lose it. Waliwo restaurant bagiyitanga Lusania restaurant, Lusania. And I find that when Kyagulanyi was MP, Ashbag Kato yaji promoting, and I used to rent in the same building like with those guys at Lusania restaurant. I think it was one of the very first Lusania making restaurants. I find that they expanded too much, too fast, and after lockdown nibadda mu kibuga wakati. I find that ekintu kyokudda mu kibuga wakati where they paid more rent, more in license fees was one of the biggest mistakes they made. We bali out in the outskirts, bali Wandegeya nange wenali. Wandegeya, they were growing, they looked bigger than they were, okitegeera, right? But they were not as big. So their running costs were low. So then they went to town, they expanded, and that was an expansion that was the biggest mistake. And before you know it, nozatebaweza na mwakuba nibatandika okusereba nawe sikyajulira najulira kati yali strong. Of course now even that during that time Facebook was still operational. Facebook was still good. It still made sense nga customer ku Facebook bavaako bulungi. Kambaze kubala. And after the lockdown, Facebook negwa. After Facebook, after the lockdown, Facebook was blocked by the government. Chokate were blocking the Facebook. Ate olimu jo marketingirako ate you expanding ate tekyakola nga wali okola ba influencer bo bati bakyakola then I think Kyagulanyi yali asinga ku influencing abantu ogule moroko emmere kwaba abantu and then he got busy I think atacyabawa mention and all that okitegeera. Toddy Ronald, good morning. How much would it cost importing car versus buying from the bond? You save about 5 to 10 million. You can save kale tugambe 2 to 10 million is what you can save when you import. I might end up buying a Chigege from Dubai also. Nathan, if you can, I think Chigege togenda gula Chigege kati gogenda gula drone. Eze moroka emyaka na joji they apply because kati nazo inakuleta 2000 and I think 2010. Good morning Talemwa, Richard Opolord, good morning. Firstborn, good morning. So if you are in like Dubai or Japan or the UK ngosobola ogulayo drone bidi 10 okuwambuka waggulu, because I know it might actually be cheaper for you to buy it there and then you import. But guys, even when you're importing a small car, never import a car nga toyina sente za misolo. You'll get frustrated otuke ojitundela isi nnyo. I've seen so many people that import cars and they don't have tax money. Then the car gets here, it's in the bond, he has to pay taxes, then the taxes are accumulating, parking fees are accumulating, because the bonded warehouses, you pay 10k every day in parking fees. Some pay even more. Now you can imagine you're getting a car, you're paying 10k every day or 20k every day. You end up seeing omwezi gumwe mitwala 5 gagenze mu parking yobankaga. Then emodoka ononyo omusoro gukutuddemu, emodoka nebirawo emyezi 3 omusoro gugize okitegeera katogenda okwesanga abantu batuuka n'agitunda amala gatunda eveewo ng'emukutte. I've seen that so many times. So never import a car if you don't have the cash, the tax money in cash. Don't have money for taxes in cash, please don't import. So if you're going to import a car of like 10 million, you're buying it 10 million in Dubai, and then getting here, you'll have to pay 15 million in taxes. Please have the 15 million in the account before you buy that car there. Otherwise, you're going to call a loss wait amwe. Which take grand 12 million, budget 7 million cash. I'm not busy, but if you have 7 million cash to pay for brand, akasente nkagala Besigye naye saagala onyige togenda funa muntu agenda kuwola mark to brand million onweko million 7 togenda mufuna okujjako nganfu okitegeedde Besigye akasente nkagala naye nedda tujja kumala obudde bungi and I don't want to do that okitegeera. The 450 is good money for me. I would take it and then we don't get a car and then you go home, but I don't want to waste your time and my time. If you're going to buy a Mark II brand which is 12 million and you have cash money 7 million, they're going to sell it to you at 16. That's a fact. They're going to sell it to you at a minimum of like 15 million, which will not be good for you. So collect more money. Instead of stretching to buy a Mark II brand, you could collect like 9 or 10 million and buy 7, 8, 9 million probably, and then get a Mark II brand. No, a Mark II Musota. But if you want a Mark II brand, please have the cash. Bagenda kuseera kasente nkagala ne man. I want the money, Besigye. You can give it to me and I eat it, but but it's not going to be fair for you as a person that is buying. The person that is buying the car, it's not going to be fair for you. And I'm one person that really wants to be fair. I really want to be fair with you. So you keep that money for now and collect more. I would actually, if you're buying a used car, having cash is always a good thing. You get better bargains. Omuntu agula cash abeera ne bargain ennungi. Abeera ne bargain ennungi. Naye bw'oba tolina cash olugwamu nnyo because bakwongeza ssente. Emmotoka yali badde 13 ne bagiguza 15. Nze kampiseewo akalango bannange mumpe ku mirimu gya pre-purchase inspection. Yes. Mumpe ku mirimu gya pre-purchase inspection. 450,000. That money covers only one day, guys. Only one day. And it only covers the Kampala Central Business District. Only. If you get out of town, you pay extra money. Or take it for fuel. eroze tuyimira ku pampu n'otekamu amafuta okitegeera tuyimira ku pampu n'otekamu amafuta netugenda tuyongera and then I come with a mechanic. For me, my job literally is guardianship. I know exactly what we need to check with in the cars, and I know where to look. Yeah, but I come with a mechanic because there are specifics that I need him to tell me that I may not be able to comprehend. So that money covers my time, the mechanic's time, and the fuel that we use to travel to the cars. And normally, if you're going to buy a car, I recommend that you have about 3 options. Like for the Chigege, we looked at more than 10 because it's a commercial vehicle and we're investing a lot of money. You know, yesterday I was there imagining, I was saying there is someone that is buying a personal car at 30 million. And we are looking for a car of 28 for business and we are not finding it. Ningamba nange duni ye ononya sente ogaziye ensawo ne waliwo agenda okuvuga emmotoka olumwe mulemerere mu parking atalina sente z'amafuta okitegeera ya so bw'oba oli awo nga olina sente zo zitudde nga emmotoka togyetaaga nnyo abamu ku mmwe emmotoka ey'oku mulimu ekunona waka okitegeera so buying a personal car right now might not be a very good thing bw'oba osobola okuteeka n'osooka n'oziteeka ewantu in a business to do. And I'm not telling you to buy a Chigege, but I'm finding that bobate wetaaga nnyo motoka tokula motoka ate gyogenda lekanga nnyo mu parking egenda kulyanga buli osobola soka n'olwako ewala wozitaka ne zizaala. So many people have they have specialties. Some people are software developers. You could invest in a marketing system that gets you customers of software, gets you customers of websites and all that, which take it other than putting it in a car that you're not going to be driving. Yeah, that's my 2 cents there. And there are some people that are at a point of no return. Nga already gwazimba dawalanga sure did wetaaga emmotoka kati nze gyembeera omuntu atalina mmotoka abona baba okitegeera. Wait, taxes are higher than the price of the car in Uganda. Wechiba muganda wange. How long do you recommend someone add on the second Chigege after the first? I would actually recommend that you own the first Chigege for a year. Because remember, we have done the math and we have discovered if you buy a Chigege at like 30. Now, if it goes beyond 30, you recoup your money in more than 2 years. But own the Chigege for like a year. I find that in a year, you have already understood the business. You know most of the challenges. You know the drivers you know emmotoka etera kufa bwebiti every 6 months nkanika bwekiti every 2 months nkanika kino bino bye bitera okutawanya police eyagala kino bali baagala kiri okitegeera. So after a year I find that you would have understood the business better than someone that has not been there. So then you can invest in another car knowing. Then after a year, oboga se sente zogifunyemu. No manya nti kakati mmoroka ejja kubajjayo sente zayo mu bbanga bweriti. Then you can also after a year see the wear and tear on that vehicle and then you assess and you see how many more years or how many more months you can own that Chigege and how much profit you would have made from that Chigege. Because manya Chigege bw'ogigula miliyoni 3 nekolera emyaka 2 nejjayo miliyoni 3 awo osobola gituna miliyoni nga 15 awo kitegeeza ekigege koledde amagoba ga miliyoni 15. Now someone will say Arthur kati I invest 30 million to only make 15 million. Guys, abantu are investing in government bonds mulowooza bafuna sente mmeka buli mwaka golowooza mbu asobola okukola miliyoni 15 myaka 2 ng'atadde miliyoni 3 okitegeera kakitegeeza era owa Kigege ne bw'aba nga tagivuze ebbanga ddala n'agituna miliyoni 15 after the 2 years aba akoze okusinga atadde sente ku fixed deposit account okitegeera bw'eba tefunye accident, which is why it's important nobeera nga emmotoka yo gimonitaringa. Emmotoka eyo Kigege bw'ogigula teyeetagateeka ku bbala nga togitadde ku tracker. Omwana ajja kulima avuga kayunga ng'avuga mbaali emmotoka agitomeza agimalewo okitegeera. Then also emmotoka ezivuga okumpi ziba a little safer because taxis that drive a little in town oba kumpi ne town mukono wawa, those taxis they are not really exposed to those dangerous accidents as much as the taxis iyi kawunda eri massive but kisimanyesi kanga avuga mpola obo wa double cabin amusindika nga yasisedda. So I find that 1 year should be sufficient for you to now say let me buy a second Kigege. Owakawunde moroka erabika esise kawundo yetuli maaso yeri maaso ga double cabin eyo. Owakawunde aleka abadde awalirizanga emmoroka yasisedda. Wakati kawunde sigisuubira kubanga efudde olaba ayimiriza n'owa boda. Omulaba emmoroka akakankako okutambula ago mafuta. Nina abadde atumalira budde betaaga kuba mpiba n'abasajja. Double indicator yaki ago mafuta banange nzijukira. There is a time I drove a car for like 2 kilometers nga yasisedda ne emmoroka za mani omuzireke kali kagitwalinga kamani buli eri obukadde obwa Leaf Springs nenkali nnyo omuliro paka bwe natuuka gye nalindaga ne parking nga sina sente zigiteeka mu mafuta malala. After inspection fee get finished when the person has got what he want. No, inspection fee covers 1 day, guys. What you know why I've told this gentleman not to come to me now? Because his budget will not get him a car today. And I don't want to eat your money and then you say Arthur nakuwa sente zange nesifuna motoka, which is why I normally ask people what is your budget okitegeera, so that I know in your budget ogenda kummenya oba togenda kummenya. So if I realize that mu budget yote tesobola afuna motoka yo, then I tell you please don't come, oba you get someone else akolere inspection, because nze sigenda funa motoka mbi olwokuba I want you to, because when you say your money gets done when you get what you want, kitegeeza bwendaba nga tesobola funa motoka nungi, you just get any car and you go away okitegeera, which is not what I want to do. I don't want you to just get a car and go away. I have a name to kind of look out for. So inspection fee gets done in that day. It's 1 day. So that's why I normally tell you, if you're going to inspect a car, come in the morning 9 a.m. to Rumbe, so that by 5 p.m. we have gotten a car. For me, my goal is to not simply get you a car, which is why there are so many people that have come for inspection. Netukola inspection netumaliza nga tufunye motoka ne mugamba genda eka okitegeera ne mugamba genda eka. Era yesterday lwaki twaguze Kigege nti me I imagine that we would actually look for a car up to like midday. Ze ngamba zent half day will not do me that bad. Omwami ono afune kubanga motoka ibaddemu abantu babiri balamba nga bagitambulira kamuyambe ko tuongere tunoonye mu park. Then of course his mom nankubira ekiro nangamba yafunye like waabwe eyo chairman wa stage yamugambye ayine motoka ezizenga 3 wagenda tuguza naye tugenda tukanoyo yagamita ayine motoka ezizenga sizize okitegeera ali mukuba kibuloka naye era yatufuniddeyo yabadde UBD gye nabagambye ya 30 million okitegeera. So guys, your inspection fee doesn't get done when you get what you want, which is why you pay it in cash before we go. Because tuyinza otuuka mu katale ne nkugamba naye emmoroka zetunoonya sente zo nga bwe nagambye tonolgaana okusasula. I've experienced that before. We went to the market and then the guy realized that he wanted a better car than what he could afford. Even what he could afford was okay, but then he wanted a newer car, and then he wanted to not pay okitegeera. So normally before you go to inspection, which is why I tell you guys, ask here the questions on Question Friday. Okay, buuza ebibuuzo byo wano nkubulire budget y'emmoroka gye mmanyi eri ideal. Okay, bw'olaba nga budget ogiwezezza, then you can actually call me up oba oyagala nkolera inspection okitegeera. Bw'oba tolina budget, then ongereko kasente. Bw'oba oyagala kumbuuza in private, then I tell you I charge like a 50k for consultation, which can be deducted later on when you come for pre-purchase inspection okitegeera. And ebiseera ebimu whenever you ebiseera ebisinga bw'oyagala ennyo okusavinga ennyo sente ate oyesanga nga okoze loss, nti emmoroka ojja gigulanga mbi ekulye sente. Emmoroka Arthur gyakugambye erina kuba ya $1,18,000 n'ogamba kangende njigule ku 13 n'ogigula 13 ate olina okugula engine ate biki okitegeera. So we try to avoid that. Nkyalina munze ensonyi bambi saagala nkole bukozi njabule tugende Arthur agenda akola ebirala nga kasente kompadde saagala kakatako gule ekyo mumalega gule ogende. Arthur, I'm in Bahrain. That means if I buy it here kuba bangambye nti around 10 million nina okugula engine Dubai then ngitwale Dubai bagisibe. You can text me and then I give you Joshua's number nemulaba engeri gye mukikwasaganya kuba kati eyo siriiyo ogatemu numbers then soko gate taxes nga tonnaba kuyingiramu ebyo ebintu byonna soko gatte omusolo nti bwendeeta drone ey'omwaka bweguti ne bweguti erimu engine bweti ne bweti okitegeera nsasula omusolo gwa mmeka because I'm sure Joshua emmotoka asobola ogyakisa mu wiiki emu okitegeera n'otikka emmotoka yo n'ogireeta okitegeera. Guys, 1 hour nga yaweze dda ngenda basiibula nze ngenda gula yakwevugamu bajeti basusse Kampala bajeti bangi man. After in Uganda, which business you can venture into with daily income? Now guys, one thing I would like to tell you is that I'm not really a business expert. I'm not a business consultant. The other thing you need to realize is that every business has a potential of giving you daily income. You just have to crack the daily income code. Which again, every business has a potential for daily income. Every nafa abali mukatemba, you can get daily income in your businesses. Or inakufuna ango joji yingiramu. Then the one thing that I've realized in Uganda at least, and I think it could probably apply globally, but in Uganda at least one thing I realized is sobola to do business where you're a specialty, you're a specialist, sorry, where you're a specialist. To do a business don't just do a business because someone else has told you daily income is good. Do a business nga ojibaze gwe. Of course, there are businesses that don't really need a lot of supervision. Like if, for example, they gave you an opportunity to get a toilet in Kampala, that business kastofu no mwana nga si mubbi business ya toilet mu kibuga wakati, that's good daily income. Ya toilet kati ya Kigege mugira batujogeddeko okitegeera nti Kigege is mathematics and management. Most of the businesses are actually management okitegeera kati awo olina kugattiriza onoga kati nkikoze ntya waliwo abantu abalina sente zaabwe mu mobile money nga yaganze nteka mobile money, then the other guys that telling nze nteka mu mirala gya chapati okitegeera. Nze nga Arthur, I'll tell you that I don't invest mu businesses zesitegeera. Nze nga Arthur bwe mba sigitegeera siteekayo kasente kange ati sitinkalya kuba ebiseera ebisinga mu business gy'otategeera oba gy'otasobola kubala bulungi z'otaalidde zijja kufa kati aziridde asinga okitegeera. So I'll find that the businesses are daily income zeetaaga kubala nnyo bw'oba tosobola toli specialist number zirina okumaking a sense, a lot of sense. Ate olina okuba ne capital waayo kati ate business gy'otategeera nnyo olina okuba with optimum capital. Ti capital gw'olina agiyimiriza nga todipendinze ku muntu agitegeera nnyo. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The thing with the Kigege, nti bw'ogula Kigege n'osasula emisolo egyetaagisa, Kigege yeeyimiriza. Kitegeeza weetaaga bwetaazi driver mulungi. Kyekyokka kasita ofuna driver omulungi Kigege ennungi ng'esasudde emisolo gyena ng'ekuwa ssente zaayo, then makanika omulungi. Ebirala byonna bina bigwamu nti etera okufa neekola biki ebyo biba buli business efuna ebyo ebintu okitegeera. But mathematics kyekye nagambye nti Kigege eyo ogiraba bwebeekuwa miliyoni katugeze 2 kitegeeza ekuwa miliyoni bwebeeku katugambe miliyoni 1.8 kitegeeza ekuwa miliyoni 18 in 10 months neekuwa neziri endala miliyoni 3.2 zeezo nekugamba ziri 3.2 zibale nti zakugikuumira ku kkubo, then obale nezine miliyoni 3 endala ziyitamu nti nazo zagikuumira ku kkubo. Obale nti Kigege eyo ekuwa kangende maliwani ekuwa miliyoni 15 buli mwaka. Osegera esobola okuwa more than that. Naye nze nkibaze nti olumu ejja kugwako clutch, olulala yingini ekyamuke, olulala okitegeera kati ziri 3 zikola ebyo. obale nti ofuna million 15 mu mwaka kati ogiraba nti ekigege wandiba togenda gyevugira togenda beera ng'obeera mu poliisi togenda kubeera makanika naye nti eyo numbers osobola okuzigattagatta nti esobola okuwa more than 15 million a year naye ffe tubale 15 million obeere safe nti bwetakuwa ziri ennyi bwekuwa more than 15 osigala oli okay naye bwetakuwa more than 15 you will still be satisfied nti empadde 15 guno omwaka ne next year genda kupa 15 ze million zange 3 zinagiinvestingamu ziweddeyo kati awo olabe njitunda njisigaze empendale 15 next year kuba emmoloka eyo kigege bw'ogisigaza emyaka 3 ebekuwadde million 45 ng'ate wagigula 3 kati awo ne bw'ogitunda 15 ebekuwadde million 6 okisegera and majority of businesses in Kampala that's how they are siza kuwa sente nyingi nnyo omulundi gumu they survive like that you'll be surprised bw'ogenda n'oyogera ne ba business owners lwakuba nti ba business owners abasinga e Kampala tebabalanga Arthur tabala nnyo I have to file VAT manyi bankako okusasula VAT e Kampala wano URA yambeera bubi so buli mwezi I file VAT buli mwezi we file VAT anyway guys what daily income doza nkuzeemu bulungi niwono bataddewo ebitaala simanyi oba mwabirabye kuba twayise eno neggulu sikyo bataddewo ebitaala ngenda kusoma comment ezo ezisembayo bannange atuuse wali eri sisobola baleka nga sibasomye naye nga temwerabira mugambe abantu bagenda okugula emmoloka bajje tukole pre-purchase inspection of course you don't have to do inspection with Arthur to get a good car. That's one thing you need to understand. But when you do inspection with Arthur, you not only get a good car, but you also support the economy. You support the what? White banange. Now you can go to Prado TX. Now you can go to Prado TX in go just. Nekati nyina jigula rice nyo kubenyo nyama futa jigula rice nyo nebera we wakanga it's like the second car the success linda ko comment kije nasomye okusoma Eric Chintu ndi steady oli otya baba eyochi esini sane simanya wizard Mchira Antonio gwayagala motoka ebitategeereka primo yasuze mu garage ogiraba yasuze mu garage eri UHG sebe yo primo ogiraba bu UHG bwayo ya million nga 7 eyo gyolabe 5 ku 7 kale omusanga atawa 5 omusanga tatawa mukaga 7 naye moroka eva mu garage eyo ereka abadde wakisekanga bagikanika era yiye ekyali mu kugikanika ya parking up United Judebi oil umlawo mwana wa boda avuga wanwe na ye gwa ino kumufaako yete yefaako avuga bwanyumya bako omwana wa kagali wano ebyuma yava eri nga dduka nga nowalola ave nadduka owalola yetasubirayo muntu kuve neba mupapu mubanyumiriza oba emirundi emeka twamusanga awo ng'agudde ng'avaamu omusaayi ng'ataawa but one thing guys eyabadde abuuza ku bipapula bya poliisi ebibeera mu kigege I think the one reason I realize the one thing I see that ebipapula ebyo tebigenda kuggwako kiri nti drivers okusobola okufuna sente z'omugagga ojja kwesanga nti driver tagenda kuparkinganga only in the places where he needs to park olumu ajja kuyimirako ewantu wakiti kigege yange enjiraba yiri gye twaguze eggulo sijja gibalaga because enamba baziwa manye ebintu by'emmoloka zedda enamba baziwandikanga kuli naye babeerabika bulungi ngine nkubemu ne ku serefu ngine nkubemukko ne ku serefu senge badde namba yayo teyalaze nnyo mbadde ngenda gibalaga wano live naye ate nkyegenda tandika okukola sure deal itandika ncha kati awo nze kase wetandikira okukola bweti ngenda kuba njijjeeko engalo nze nga Arthur ate awo nanyini mmotoka aba talina kyaŋŋamba atandika kulya nsimbiye kale kati kambasiibule baganda bange nina ate nkole ku mirimu gy'abakama bange eggulu nabadde manyi naakola naye byaganye nadde nyina omaliriza kye natandika. Let's see. Basically, with taxes, inclusive importing, would cost more. Okay. Arthur, in Uganda, which business is your common problem with GDI? Fuel system. The fuel system. Nti amasanyalaze ina pressure pump maso, ina pressure pump mutanka. Ate pressure pump by a million emone ekitundu. Buli pressure pump. So the reason why Morocco zitera okulema abantu baziwa amafuta amabi. Emoroka eyo GDI bojiwa amafuta amabi ate bana Uganda obacho bachi temulinga Arthur omune wabane milioni 10 kwa account ayagala anywa amafuta ga mutwalo okitegeera ekyo ekintu ekisinga okuteze Morocco ezo GDI nti onywa amafuta amabi pressure pump nojonoona okitegeera bazikanika mu na era teziterera kati the fuel system mu GDI esinga okuba n'obuzibu era bwo bosobolanga Joshua bakugambye jesonyiwe starch buy 1 chigigi in Kampala cause taxes engine also to buy a car. What a primo ordinary Kambesi je primo ordinary you can get at even 7 million primo ordinary million musambo ufuna no genda no evuga neka million musambo tejaba na mipira it won't have tires. The tires will be there but not so good. It will not have AC definitely. It will not have this AC. But that one, 7 million, you buy your primo ordinary and then you go home. No genanga wevuga. Nsereko starch. Okay. Derek Lule. Ninda kutulabe. Saith Agamba, the success of most, if not all, businesses depends upon the owner because he makes the final decision. Don't crucify Arthur just in case you take his advice and later fail. Thank you, Saith. Mr. Arthur, now for a person like me who has 15 million, I have seen that I need more additional 3 million for inspection, all licenses, insurance. Now, what's that? CON, cause banange, you need it and some stuff. And ate emoroka ya million 15 chigege million 15 gera chisange kai papula ya million nga musanvu ba 10. I'm telling you this. Ejja kuba kai papula ya million nga musanvu ba 10. Ekyo kyo sure deal. Arthur, you still also a video on old cars G-Tourings. Yes, I'm going to work on that very soon. Ewaka wali clear banange eno omusanga omusana guvaayo 5 am 7 am. It's hot like hot plate banange enseno naye katukole tetenkanya dunia muganda wange tetenkanya Nuhurira Tom Prado TX, it's a must buy Dr. Arthur. Ida bwe nafuna obwa Dr. Sha. Mwebaga ngenda funa PhD wano marufuna PhD nga nkyagambikako. Ngenda basi kyagambikako nga abagala okukola research banoonya ebyo ebintu ntubwe bityo. Nga banoonya nange nenoonya abamukola. Because our doctor abasinga bwe batu bakola. Bamunoonya and we are looking for a PhD holder in this field. Ne bamuyita PhD holder. We want to do research here and here nabagamba obuntu obuli technical ne bagamba this is the man. Ne bamuwa sente. Naye naanoonyayo ba Arthur aba masters ba Arthur be bakola research okitegeera. Arthur nze nagula Toyota Succeed nga njagala kukola farming naye nkyali bweru kati etudde butuuzaawo. Kasita wamala okugisaawo muganda wange. Kasita wagisaawo kati omanya nti that investment kyaggwa togenda kuddamu. T-shirt masavu. Mama Abani yabikola bino byonna. Nze simanyi Mama Abani bwana abatangulira ngoyo banaakolanga ntya. Kubanza obudde obukola ebyo ebintu sikyabulina. Njagala nnyo okubikola naye maani. Ate kati nze ne downtown ntyayo. Succeed kati eri awo ayagala okugga mu company sikutegedde 3 million starting nga terina bambi toyongeza inspection nga sinagula mmotoka. Inspection bwe naba sinayongeza ngenda gireta mu kooti y'abantu. You guys will vote tongeze tetongeza. Era n'okwongeza okudda ku mitwalo 45 you guys voted. Mujjukira it was a democratic process. It's you people that voted. Era banange onandi bubi. Era bwogenda mu posts ezasembayo eri ojja kulaba nti you people voted. Okitegeera. Yesterday I saw Toyota Auris, but it has a nice interior. Auris munange interior ye nnungi naye bweronza kandabikira bubi. Lwakitambako. Frank Promo jali mu Mr. Ali Kigezi mulungi nnyo era yatuyamba managing business. Tulinde ko yaveeko mbasibule mu butongole. Simanyi lwakitambako. Simu y'omuntu nga tagikwata. Ng'osooka omulambo essaawa nga yi. Naddala nze atakuboyo omuntu ku WhatsApp akimanyi ndi ku broadcast. Akimanyi. Okay, agenze kamba sibule. Mugalasi Joshua Mixed Farm, Travel Life Log, Tusime Eddie Muyombia Mark, Nsereko Starch, Africa Karota, Omeja Moses, Frank Promo 2, Hashim, Bukenya Abi, Oza Mosantu, Sebugwao Medi Nathan, Jerishia Motors, Saith Kagaba, Luburo Chris Fitness, Morad K Momo, Mujunansi Michael, UWeb Solutions, Timothy Wodiana, Balvid, Saith Kagaba, Luburo Chris Fitness, Mayanja Ronald, Saith, Mamazi, Seru Victor, Daudi Mukasa, Vinny Katz, Nsereko Starch, Ronald Muchwa, Blake FX, Louis, Joseph Balikudembe, Frank Promo 2, Chiza Tadeo, Kabali Moses, Edwin Mugerwa, Johnson Rubinga, yes, Fred and Life Stories, Mark W, Kisa Mashadrak, Toddy Ronald, Firstborn Kambesi J, Frank Waswa, Antonio Nakubuzizako, Senchima Steve, Eric Chisitu, Derek Lule, Nuhurira Tom, Bruno Bakahika, Chris Da Vinci, Nsereko Starch, gomuku ate Nsereko Starch olaika waronda tuongeze paka na nkaga. Ajara kajeva mabana mweku lectures. Kari guys, I wish you a very lovely day. I'll see you tomorrow evening. Tomorrow's broadcast will be at 5:15 p.m. Temwera bida tracker weziri, radio wasigaddewo, ka alarm weziri, ne inspection nayo nga we nawe tubikolanga. I wish you a very lovely day guys. May God bless you. Ciao.